we're going to get started now. Thank you all so much for coming to ACM's Fall General Meeting. We have a lot of fun stuff prepared for you, and we are so excited for you to get involved in ACM as well.
But you can pass through that side.
So first things first, the slides are not super well lit on the projector, so please, on your own device, pull up our slides, and that way you can see them more clearly. Yeah.
You can find them either on our Instagram, which is acm.ucla, or our link tree, which is the URL up there.
Yeah, and then lastly, we have a really cool raffle, so stay tuned until the end, and you'll get to see how you can enter that for some cool ACM merch.
And now we would like to do the pleasure of introducing our president, Matt Wang.
Hello, hello. First, thanks for bearing with us. We're one of the first huge outdoor events on campus, and it's pretty hard to plan this kind of stuff. My name is Matt. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm a fourth-year CS and Math Econ double major, and I'm also the president of ACM. Before I talk about our club, I want to quickly talk about pronouns. So you'll see all of us introduce ourselves with our pronouns, and you might still be new to this concept. Why is this important? It's a show of respect. We want to make sure that we're addressing people properly by what their name is, who they are, and what represents themselves. You'll see this in your classrooms, in your different clubs, and it's also part of our commitment to diversity and inclusion, something I'll talk about in a moment. So that's me, he, him. You'll also see it on all of our name tags for our ACM officers. So with that in mind, we'll go to the next slide. A little bit about our club. I'm not going to quiz you on what the acronym stands for, but we're the Association for Computing Machinery. Fundamentally, our job is to make tech as accessible for everyone. And here I'm using the word accessible very liberally. We want to make sure that you can get involved in tech, that you can grow and find opportunities in tech, that you can meet other people and use tech to make the world a better place. Let's go over 3 very cool key points, the tricolon of what that looks like. Next slide. The first one is learning. Right? The big emphasis for us is that we want to lower the barriers to get involved in tech. What does that mean? You'll hear from all of our committees that we have workshops with no experience required. We don't care if you learned how to use a computer yesterday, if you don't know if HTML is a programming language, or if you don't know anything about AI or video game development. We're here to help you learn. But beyond that, we're not just going to throw you away once you learn the basics. We have advanced workshops. We're going to be doing things close to bleeding edge research, to research paper reading, to grad level class content. That exists all under our hub. And beyond that, you'll have opportunities to learn by meeting a ton of really smart people. I mean this honestly when I say that I'm one of the least smart people in ACM, and everyone else has an amazing perspective to bring to this club. Next slide. So now you've learned some stuff. And you want to try to apply what you've learned to a lot of different places. And this is where we give you a place to explore technology. Every single one of our committees has a different tech focus, a different application of these quote-unquote theoretical CS classes that you might take, or an application of what you learn here. But beyond that, we want to help you explore career interests, research, you as a person, cool places on campus, and beyond that, many other ways that you can use tech to make the world a better place. So our job is not only to give you learning resources, but an opportunity to explore what you can do with them. And the last slide on this little thing is about finding community. The people here are kind of cool. They're not bad. Me, not so much, but everyone else here is absolutely amazing. CS is hard. College is hard. It doesn't even matter if you're a CS major. And it's hard to find that support system. We are one of your many support systems. We want to see you succeed in your classes, in your interviews, in your jobs, in your research. We want to have fun with you. We want to help you explore LA, especially if you were back home for the entire year beforehand. That being said, there's a ton of other great community on campus too. And even if you don't find it within ACM, we want to help you find those places as well. So that was my little spiel, the McKinsey-style pitch. I think I want to go over, there's some nice photos of ACM people. These are all mostly old because, the panorama. And then we'll go to the last slide in my little shtick, which is about equity, diversity, and inclusion. And this is a new thing this year. We are really focused on making tech equitable, diverse, and inclusive. I'm going to be frank with you, right now it isn't. And that starts from recognizing that. Everything we do, EDI is to our core. We want to make all of our programs accessible to people. We want to make sure that regardless of your background, you have an equal opportunity to participate in everything that we do. That we bring in diverse viewpoints that add so much to the software development process or the leadership process. And for inclusion, I can't just say these things. I have to actively do these things. We have to actively make our club inclusive to everyone. We're also going to recognize that I'm only 20. I can't even legally drink. And so there's only so much I can really provide to this conversation. All of you are just as important to our mission for EDI as am I or any of the other wonderful people you're going to hear speaking today. So with that in mind, please join us and help us make tech a more equitable, diverse, and inclusive world. That's my shtick here. Oh, thanks for the applause. It was quiet, but I'll take it. I think the next slide is going to be me introducing the committees. So, we're going to info dump a bunch of stuff on you. I'm really sorry. As they've told you before, the slides are available on our website, on our Instagram, on our Linktree. But the committees are the bread and butter of who we are. Each of them function as a micro club where they teach you from the beginner level all the way to the industry professional how to get involved. We're going to have each committee president or co-president introduce who they are. You're going to hear about the awesome things that they do. And then we'll wrap up a little bit with what ACM as a whole does. I want to start off with two of our coolest co-presidents at ACM, Christian and Peter, to talk about ACM Game Studio. Please give them a warm welcome.
Thank you for the introduction, Matt. Hello, I am Christian, he, him pronouns.
My name is Peter, he, him pronouns.
And we are your ACM Game Studio co-presidents. Yes. And so, mission statement, please. Yeah, so, yes, just read on the slide, our mission is to create a community for students interested in any aspect of game development. And so this can pretty much be split into two different pieces that I want to talk about. Community. At the studio, we're really focused on trying to build a community of very like-minded individuals that are just passionate about, making games, talking about games, and just vibing in general. So we do that by socials, hanging out, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And most importantly, we're interested in any aspect of game dev. Whether you're a writer, a visual artist, a modeler, and of course, a programmer as part of computing machinery. There's a place for you at ACM, no matter your skill set, no matter your background. Next slide, please. And so during the fall quarter, we host 3 tracks of tutorials to get you up to speed so that you can develop games with us. That's going to be the beginner, advanced programming, and the creative track, where you learn how to implement your assets into a game. Yes, and these are available to all experience levels. Whether you're starting from scratch or you've made a bunch of games on your own, there's going to be a track for you. Next slide, please.
And so what's the best way to learn? Well, it's by doing. And so one thing that we have is we participate in game jams, which are hackathons, essentially, where you build a video game from scratch. So actually, we are participating in a game jam happening soon. Christian will give more details about it. But truly, game jams are one of the best ways to get your feet wet into game development. And then again, we emphasize that game jams are open to anyone of any experience level, as well as any type of contribution you want to make, whether you're a programmer or an artist. Next slide. Our flagship program, though, has to be the Students Run Studios program, where we essentially fragment the club into separate teams doing student-led projects. So that's 20 weeks of game development to create a fully fleshed game. Next slide. And so here are some of our past works that we made last year, completely online, from a 2D Metroidvania to a 3D platformer to a superhero dating sim, 3D stealth action shooter. Truly, if any game that you're interested in making, all you need to do is pitch the game, organize a team, and just go for it. Next slide. And so that's a lot of talking, but what you can do is on your own devices afterwards, you can check out our sizzle reel where you can check out the games for yourself. Next slide. Yep.
Yes, and so our fall general meeting, where we'll talk about everything that we mentioned in more detail, as well as some other stuff like socials, internship track, and possibly a sneak peek of what you'll be learning, will be October 6th. That's going to be week 2, Wednesday, from 7 to 9 p.m. in Cohen Multipurpose Room, Engineering 6. Next slide. And finally, this is just a graphic on Ludum Dare 49, the game jam that Peter just mentioned. It's going to be a 72-hour game jam, and we are very much catering it to beginner level game devs. And so if you're interested, feel free to, next slide please, click on the link or scan it, depending on your preference, and there'll be a sign-up form, and there's also going to be a link to our Discord and a bunch of other cool stuff where you can check out our past works. So yeah, feel free to come to our table right in the back with a bunch of other officers wearing our same hoodie. Thank you. And then next we'll have Jacob from ICPC. Woo!
Hey everyone. Hey everyone. My name is Jacob. Pronouns are he, him. I'm the president of ICPC, and this is our hummingbird, Captain America. Next slide. At ICPC, we do algorithms and competitive programming. Now, what is competitive programming, you might ask? To us, competitive programming is a sport. It's a sport of solving out-of-the-box CS problems in the minimum amount of time, both computer time and programmer time. And we chose the hummingbird motto, or the hummingbird mascot rather, to symbolize that our programs should not only be super fast, but also small and maneuverable around edge cases. Next slide. So I won't read out our mission statement, but I'd like to illustrate it with the picture, which will look better on your own device probably. So ICPC problem solvers, next. ICPC problem solvers can work collaboratively, that's the middle picture. Think deeply, that's the right picture, next. And have fun doing it. All while thinking about some of the most challenging algorithms problems around. Next slide. So, I am very proud to announce that this year, for only the third time since 1989, the UCLA ICPC team has qualified for World Finals, the highest level of the ICPC tournament. And the journey to World Finals has been a very personal one for me as well. From being cut from the team as a freshman, struggling to improve, and finally having the chance to represent UCLA at World Finals 2021. And next slide. So this was going to, next slide. Look at it on your phone. But to reduce all that our committee does to only the team is a huge understatement. Our committee has grown a lot in recent years, and we now focus mainly actually on outreach through our Intro to Competitive Programming workshop, which will be happening this fall. More details to be announced, but the idea is we will bring you from a state of no experience whatsoever in competitive programming to solving problems with the best of us. Next slide. And we also have our interview crash course program, which will allow you to apply those problem-solving skills to land jobs at top companies. I think a few of our alumni have worked at companies such as Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Citadel, and Jane Street, just to name a few companies. Finally, if you would like to learn more about ICPC, because we do way more events, including Code Sprint LA, Puzzle Hunt, etc., we're having our Fall GM from 7 to 8 p.m. on Thursday in Bolter Hall 4760. And we do ask, next slide, that everyone RSVP because there is limited space. So we'll be able to take around the first 100 or so people who can RSVP. But yes, thank you very much. And follow us on Instagram. And I would next like to introduce the amazing Crystal from Design.
Moving this down because I'm very short, but you know what's not short is ACM Design. We're a great committee full of wonderful and talented designers. So I'm here as your design president. So my name is Crystal, pronouns are she, hers, and what we do, because design is quite the vague term, is we cover everything from product design, UX, UI design, graphic design, and 3D design. So if anyone is interested in the user experience of a product and thinking about the function and the aesthetics of a product on both the design side and the development side, ACM Design is a great place for you to start. Next slide, please. So you can read about our mission statement, but again, if you are very passionate about the intersection of business, design, technology, development, any of those things interest you, feel free to check us out. Next slide, please. So what are some of the things that we do? So for our graphic designers out there, if you've noticed all the beautiful graphics on these slides, as well as all the banners in the back and the tables when you guys go check those out, or if you've stalked our socials, whether it's ACM's or any of our wonderful committees, and you've seen the beautiful graphics for all the events that have been posted, that is something that our team works on. So if you're a graphic designer and you really want to get in touch with your artistic field, we help ACM with its marketing and branding, and our work pretty much creates the welcoming and colorful digital presence that ACM has today. Next slide, please. All right, and if you are a UX designer or a UI designer or a product designer, we have projects within our internal teams. So some of the cool things that we've worked on is a font project called Westwood Sands. If you're looking for something a bit more technical and on the dev side, we've also worked on a CSS project. We've also worked on a couple websites here and there for our committees as well as for ourselves, and a lot of cool things in store for this year as well. So we have a little bit of something for everyone, no matter what area of design you are interested in. Next slide, please. All right, so workshops and events. So we are here to help you in your design journey. So not many people might know what UX UI design means. So we are here to introduce those topics to you in terms of what exactly does UX UI stand for? What are other topics within product and design that exist out there in the world besides, everything that you've heard in terms of SWE and just front-end, back-end development. There's a lot more non-technical jobs out there and jobs within the design realm, and we are here to introduce that to you. Also, if you are, say, a junior or a fourth year looking to recruit into these roles, we are here to support you as well. So we have a little bit of something for everyone. And in terms of for our general members, keep an eye out for something really exciting happening next quarter. We are planning a general kind of like a design jam competition style event aimed towards beginner designers for you to have a project to showcase when you are in that position of recruiting. Next slide, please. So some of our past events, what have we done? We've brought in designers from top companies to talk about what it's like in a day in their life. We've hosted a lot of workshops about 3D modeling and a bunch of other design softwares to teach you all the necessary skills within the industry. And if you are interested in how does our design directors and our developers and designers think when they are creating a project or a graphic, we have live design sessions as well where our members will talk about what's going on in their mind in their design process. How are they thinking about these prompts, and what is it that they're actually doing when they're creating all the work that they do for us. Next slide, please. So if you're interested in anything in terms of product or design, we have our first general meeting this Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. in Volter 2763. All of our socials are in the speaker notes of the slide as well, so feel free to check us out. Give us some love on our socials, and I hope to see you guys this Thursday. So I would like to introduce our next wonderful committees. Please welcome ACM Cyber.
Hello, I'm Henry. My pronouns are he, his.
Hello everyone, my name is Josh, he, him pronouns.
All right, so to start off, I want to talk a little bit about ACM Cyber and what we do. So mainly our goal, is this better? All right, so mainly we want to basically teach you guys about cybersecurity topics such as reverse engineering. So our mission mainly is to create a community which experts and beginners can come and learn about industry and cybersecurity skills. Next slide, please. So it doesn't matter if you have never ever been involved in cybersecurity or if you have done hundreds of CTS before. If you're interested, we want you at our workshop. Next slide, please. So how to get involved? The first thing is we have our quarterly workshop. This quarter will be covering web hacking, and this will cover the subject like how do you securely authenticate users, how do you prevent your website from getting hacked, And in each workshop, we have challenges where you can test out what you learned during the workshop. And we call these CTF challenges, which we have a vulnerable program. You have to go in and find a specific flag associated with it. The workshop time will be from Monday from 6 to 8 in Bolter, which is the building right behind you guys. Next slide, please. And once you have come to our workshop and learn all about the various web hacking skills, we have a CTF After Dark at the end of every single quarter, which you can come and test out your skills. And also, in addition, we have a more advanced workshop that we're trying out with Game Studio. We're doing a collaboration in mid-fall quarter, which will be have like a mix between game hacking. The last time we did game hacking, we created a CSGO aimbot. So if you're interested, please come up. And yeah, I'll hand it to Josh to talk about more.
Alrighty, next thing I want to talk about is something called Psi Beta Rho. So, the newest CS frat. Just kidding, next slide. So what is Psi Beta Rho? Psi Beta Rho is actually the name of our CTF team here at Cyber. And here we actually go out and do external CTFs. So there are a bunch of CTFs that we do throughout the year. And this year we're focusing a lot on the beginner-friendly ones. So if it's your first time and you want to try out a CTF, feel free to join us. We'll be making teams and you'll be paired up with an officer and a bunch of other people as well. Otherwise, if you're more experienced, feel free to join our Psi Beta Rho team and compete for money if you're good. All right, next slide. Alrighty, and last but not least, we have our Fall GM. Come out, next Monday at 6 to 8 p.m. in that building right there. And to learn a little bit more about what we do, meet some really cool people. At the very end, we have a Disney game. Wait, no, we don't. We have a Disney something. So yeah, next slide. And finally, this is our QR code with a bunch of our stuff, the link tree there. Feel free to follow us on our socials and RSVP for the GM. Up next, we have representing the ACM Teach LA, the birthday girl, Sophie.
Hi everyone, my name is Sophie, pronoun she, her, and I'm the president of Teach LA. So basically, Teach LA's mission is just to make CS education more accessible for students in the LA area. You can go to the next slide. And we just teach a bunch of classes to students of all ages, elementary age through high school, just to try to give them some CS exposure that many of us didn't have before they get into college. We do a lot of classes, so we basically have two different teams. We have our teaching and curriculum team and our dev team. And so we teach a bunch of classes. You can go to the next slide. And we have weekly in-person and virtual classes. We're currently doing kind of a hybrid format like UCLA is doing, and they have a wide range of topics from scratch for many of our beginners and elementary school students all the way through artificial intelligence and machine learning and web development. There's no prior experience required to teach with us. If you really have no experience, you can start off in one of our scratch classes or even one of our higher level classes and we'll train you. And then in terms of our dev team, that's our other side. That's more of kind of the not so much student interaction positions we have. And basically you create software to make education more accessible. And we have a bunch of different projects that you can get involved in. We have things called learning labs, where you basically just focus on a specific topic and you make software to help teach students about that topic. We also have an editor, and then we have our static site, which is just our website where schools and other organizations can reach out to us to partner with us. We also have our schedules on there, that sort of thing. Our dev team is also no experience required, so literally anyone can join. We have a whole training team who can train you. Yeah, and then in terms of how to get involved, you can go to the next slide. This is very wordy. You can save this for future reference if you plan on coming to any of our events, but the most important thing is that we have our fall general meeting tomorrow from 7 to 8 in a place called Rolfe Hall. We have a pretty high capacity. It holds about 300 people, but please RSVP if you plan to come, just so we can get an approximate head count. And then in terms of other events throughout the quarter, we have weekly meetings for both our curriculum and dev teams. So I have just the dates, times, times and locations listed there if you're planning to come. And then, yeah, in terms of how you can contact us, you can go to the next slide. The best way is to join our Slack workspace. That's where we update you about a lot of what's going on with our classes, and you can get involved in either the dev team or the curriculum team. And then we also have all of our socials here, so if you want to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, and then we also have our website and email on here too. So yeah, that's Teach LA in a nutshell. I'm going to pass it off to Cindy from ACM W.
Hi, my name is Cindy from ACM W. Pronouns are she, her. Next slide, please. So our mission is to advocate for the diversity and inclusion of all groups in CS through mentorship, networking, career panels, and also professional development opportunities. We're just a really safe place for anyone who's interested in learning more about CS or getting into CS. Next slide. ACMW has a mentorship program where you can get paired with an upperclassman with more experience, and you can ask them about anything from classes, internships, research, or honestly just general life advice, and you can make a lot of new friends through this mentorship program as well. Next slide. Some of the professional development events we've had in the past include Facebook Puzzle Hunt, career panels like startups from idea to prototype to business, where we invite UCLA alumni to come talk to us about what their experience was like and the process that they went through to kind of found their startup. We've also had things like interview workshops and negotiation workshops, and the negotiation workshop is something actually that we're holding this upcoming Thursday, September 30th, from 6 to 7:30 p.m., where we're going to invite more experienced people to come talk to us about how to advocate for yourself, how to be more assertive in negotiating your salary. So if you're interested in learning how to negotiate your salary, please come and check us out. Next slide. And lastly, our fall general meeting is this Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. In the Cohen Multipurpose Room in Engineering 6. So if you're interested in learning more about what ACMW does, please come. And next slide. And you can contact us at our email, UCLA ACMW, or Instagram, and you can kind of keep updated on the events we're going to have throughout the quarter at our Facebook group as well. Thank you. And please welcome Justin from AI.
Thank you, Cindy. What's good, y'all? My name is Justin. My pronouns are he, him, and I want to talk to y'all a little bit about AI. Next slide, please. So our mission is essentially just to serve the AI community here at UCLA and kind of the greater local area. And one of those initiatives by which we do that is our workshops tracks. Next slide, please. So we are hosting 2 different workshop tracks for this fall quarter. We are hosting our beginner track and our advanced track. Our beginner track has no prior experience required, so if you're interested at all about AI but don't know really where to start but want to get your feet wet, please check this out. This is going to be held Monday and Tuesday for our beginner and advanced track. So we'll be going through kind of classical machine learning methods as well as an introduction to some deep learning architectures. Next slide, please. Apart from that, we're going to be doing our advanced track where we take a deeper dive into some more advanced architectures, some more state-of-the-art things, and kind of breaking down the internals of how these models actually work. Next slide. With our projects team, we take cohorts of undergraduate students and walk them through a complete machine learning pipeline. So from conception, from data collection, all the way to evaluating your model, we're going to walk you through that process. This quarter, we have planned for y'all some computer vision tasks. So previously, we had some disease identification within plant species as well as humpback whale identification. So if you're looking to flex or build your computer vision skills, this is a place for you. We do expect some sort of prerequisite knowledge of a little bit of how AI works. So if you're interested at all about like what knowledge that really means, come speak to us at our table. Next slide. Next, I want to highlight our events initiative. So our events team hosts these one-off events that kind of cater toward the general UCLA community as a whole. So one of those is our Demystifying AI series, in which we kind of look under the hood of how like AI is affecting society, how it is impacting people today. Next slide. Another very popular event that we host is our AI research panel, in which we invite panelists, being professors at UCLA that are deeply involved in state-of-the-art machine learning research, and take the time to kind of highlight their work and see how students like us can get involved with their labs. Next slide. And finally, we have our not-so-technical workshop. So again, this is an even more gentle introduction to how these models work internally. Next slide. And finally, our outreach team. So our outreach team works in conjunction with Teach LA to host a AI/ML series on intro to these sort of systems at a local high school, as well as we host a podcast called Demystifying AI, where we highlight different prominent figures in the field and talk to their experience as historically underrepresented figures within AI. Sorry, you belong in AI, if I didn't make that clear. Yeah, so we really want y'all to join AI, next slide, and just be a part of our community. We'd love to have y'all. Next slide. Our Fall GM is gonna be this Friday at Kinsey Pavilion 1240B. So please check us out. If you have any questions, we'll be there at the table in the back. Yeah, that's all from me. I'd like to introduce our next committee, everyone's favorite duo, Eugene and Asha.
Hello, hello. Glad to have all you with us. We are the last committee talking here today. We are ACM Hack. Hopefully you guys are still with us. Bear with us. My name is Eugene. I am a rising fourth year, not a rising. I'm used to NSO tabling, sorry about that. I'm a fourth year computer science major. Pronouns are he, him.
Hi, my name is Asha. I'm a third year CS major. Pronouns she, her, and I'm the other Hack co-president.
Yes, okay, next slide. Okay, so first and foremost, Hack has nothing to do with hacking. That is on us. I was not responsible for naming, so I would like to apologize for that confusion. What we do is empower the community to build things, and the vehicle that we do that through is through software development. So that's like building websites and also mobile app development. So if you're interested in creating the next Facebook, the next Instagram, or the next wink wink Tinder, then feel free to check us out. All right, next slide. The first event that we're going to be highlighting today is Hack School. So this is our staple workshop series on web development, where we're going to be teaching you the fundamentals of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So hopefully by the end of this workshop series, you'll have all you need to build your own websites. This event, along with the rest of our events, are all beginner friendly. No prior experience is required. And Hack School will be beginning on week 2, starting on Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. at Perloff, room 1102. Next slide. The next event is Passion Talks. So this is our series of independent workshops where we're going to have guest speakers talk about an area in CS that's creative and interdisciplinary that they're passionate about. And the goal is to hopefully give them a platform to talk about their experiences and where they ended up in their interests, while also giving you a demystified look into areas of CS that you didn't consider before. Be on the lookout for this. We're going to be posting different marketing. The time for this and the first Passion Talk is TBD, but if you're involved in all of our socials and our mailing list, then you'll definitely be updated on that. Next slide.
Our third event this quarter is HackFam, which is our community social program. So if you're looking to get to know some people, get to know Westwood, the UCLA CS community, this is a program for you. We are currently taking applications for both FAM heads and family members, and applications will close October 6th. So you'll see the link in a couple slides for that. Next slide. And to give you an idea of some of our future events, some of our past events have included Hack on the Hill, which we are really looking forward to being in person again this year. Hack Sprint, which is our mobile dev workshop series. Last year was React Native, this year's language TBD. And Hack Kitchen, which is our food-themed creative coding competition. What that entails, you'd have to participate in order to find out. Next slide. If what Hack does is exciting to you, we'd love to have you at our Fall GM this Wednesday at Perloff room 1102 from 7 to 8 p.m. We also do ask that you RSVP to the event. The RSVP, along with links to all of our socials, our mailing list, HackFam, Passion Talk speaking signups are all found in that big QR code. Or if you can't get it right now, feel free to visit our table with our amazing Hack officers back there.
Awesome, and with that being said, I would like to give it off to the amazing Evan and Tina, our IVP and EVP, to talk to you more about Board.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tina, pronounced she, her. I'm a third-year computer science student and the external vice president.
Hello, everyone. My name is Evan. My pronouns are he, him. I'm also a third-year computer science major, and I am ACM's internal vice president.
And together we run ACM Board. So you might be wondering, what is ACM Board after listening to all of our 8 committees? So ACM Board handles a lot of logistical things to ensure that all of our 8 committees can run their events smoothly as possible. So on external board, we have a bunch of lovely people. Next slide, please. So out of these people, we all help to make sure that our events run smoothly. So some of their positions include working with alumni, our finances, our marketing team, and working with our computer science department and our company affiliates. Next slide, please. So these are some of our company affiliates, including Facebook, Google, Honey, etc. And so big shout out to them because they are the people who make this event possible. So we've had a lot of collaborations with them. And so next slide, please. In the past, we've had events like Meet the Company series, which is a series where people from Facebook can come and talk to you all about what it's like to work at Facebook. Some other events we've had are the ACM Carnival, which is a general member social where all of you can come out and meet other people in ACM. We've also had another event such as Meet the Alumni, where you can meet all of the ACM officers who once were officers and now are out in the world. Next slide, please. So now up and coming, we have some other events. We're going to continue the Meet the Company series. Our first one is actually going to be next Monday. So keep an eye out for that to meet some people from our company affiliates. We also have some more general member socials. Tech in the Park is going to be our first big general social that's going to be held in collaboration with UPE and Explore Tech, 2 other really great organizations on campus as well. That will be held on October 15th. And we will have more alumni events. Who is ACM, which is going to be an Instagram series featuring all of our ACM officers. We have over 150 officers, really big club. And we also will have our CS Career Fair next month in collaboration with the Computer Science Department. Next slide, please. So you might be wondering, there's a whole lot of events. How do I find out about all of them? So we have all of our social media. We have a Facebook page and a group, an Instagram, Discord, a YouTube where we have our past events recorded and uploaded, LinkedIn, and a MailChimp service where we send out weekly newsletters every Sunday night so that you can find out what all the events are for the upcoming week. And if any of these positions sound interesting to you, if you like marketing, if you like dealing with finances, talking with the CS department and company affiliates, etc., then we will have our internship cycle opening this upcoming fall. You'll learn more about that on the internal side. But yeah, thank you so much. And I'll pass it on to Evan.
Yeah, thanks for that, Tina. And now for ACM Board's other half, internal. On this slide, you can see ACM Board's internals core team. And on the next slide, you'll be able to see the dev team on ACM Board. So the dev team serves the ACM community by developing and providing resources and tools for every one of you to use, such as the webpage you're viewing these slides on right now. On the next slide, we have our wonderful advisors who advise internal on how to make decisions. But what is internal? Well, internal does infrastructure, as we can see on the next slide. What does that mean? It means that we lay down the foundation that makes ACM function. For example, our operations directors, these wonderful 2 people, Rish and Christina right here, they set this entire event up for you. A huge undertaking with over 600 people. Let's give them a huge round of applause, please. And then we also have our lovely internal affairs director, Ray, who's all the way in the back over there. He puts on fabulous socials to promote ACM officer camaraderie. We also have our internship program director, who you will hear from shortly, and that's how we bring in new ACM officers, so you could be speaking on this stage in just a year. We also have our dev team, as mentioned previously, who developed for the ACM community. And finally, we have JEDI, which is an interesting acronym that stands for Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. Like Matt said at the beginning, this is our core focus for this year, and our JEDI team ensures that our organization aligns with these values. On the next slide, we'll see some interesting events that internal has put on in the past. On the left, you'll see Tech Gala and Faculty Fireside, the first one being a project competition, and the second being a social event where students ask faculties more personal questions, like asking Professor Eggert what his favorite ice cream flavor is, or what his favorite text editor is. On the right side, we have events set on by ACM Internal Affairs, such as our holiday live stream and our retreat to promote officer unity and camaraderie. On the next slide, we'll see about the dev team. So if you're interested in the dev team, developing the web application that you're viewing these slides on right now, or our membership portal, or the Discord bot that you might have interacted with on our Discord, you can ask us in our tabling section about the dev team. Finally, for the next slide, I want to introduce Ava, our fabulous internship director, as part of Internal. Please give her a huge round of applause, and she'll talk to you about our internship program for this year.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out which mic is the best height for that. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Ava. My pronouns are she, her. A little closer? Okay, sorry. Can everyone hear me? Oh, there we go. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Ava. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the internship director. So all of us up here are ACM officers. We lead projects, we teach workshops, and we create content for ACM. Now you all may be wondering how to become an ACM officer. Well, all of our officers start off as interns. In order to become an intern, you can apply to the internship program. The internship program application comes out around week 3 or week 4, so stay tuned for that. So once the application comes out, you can pretty much apply to be an intern for any subcommittee of your choosing. And if you do end up becoming an intern, then you can learn what it takes to become an officer, and then you have the opportunity to finally become an official officer, and the next year you'll be standing up here with all of us or helping us organize this event and doing what ACM does for the UCLA community. Next slide. Another part of our ACM internship program is ACM families. Now, ACM families are groups of new interns and groups of ACM officers, and pretty much what this group of people do, or different groups of people do, is they just bond together and they make you feel part of the ACM communities. You guys will get food together, you guys will play together, bond together, do all this stuff to make you feel a part of our ACM community and grow closer to all of your peers. So if you have any more questions about the internship program, you can come up and ask me, or you can check out our new internship page on the ACM website. So thank you all for listening, and I will pass it off to Maya, our Impact Director.
Oh my God. Hi, my name is Maya. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the director of ACM Impact. We're a part of ACM that focuses on the intersection of tech with important things like social justice, public policy, and ethics. In the past, we've done things like a policy pitch-a-thon, which was sort of like a hackathon, except instead of developing code, we developed law for issues like sustainability tech, data privacy, and more. We've also had an intro to tech ethics workshop in the past where we discussed issues like military technology, bias, and artificial intelligence. Next slide, please. This quarter, we have an Intro to Careers in Socially Impactful Technology workshop where you can learn about careers in tech that aren't necessarily for things like Google or Facebook, but more for things that actively benefit society. We also have a blog where you can write about tech issues you're passionate about, like California's Prop 22 or Amazon's treatment of workers. We also have some other events coming up. Next slide, please. And so if you want to keep in touch and see what those are, then the best way is through the ACM newsletter. You can also come talk to me at the tables over there after this. Also, our email is acm.impact@ucla@gmail.com. I think it's on the slide. And our website is uclaacm.com/impact. And yeah, I'm going to introduce Helia, who's the director of JEDI. Give her a round of applause.
Hi, okay, wait, is this loud enough? Yeah, it is. Hi, I'm Helia, my pronouns are she, her. I'm the JEDI director for ACM, and you kind of already heard this, but that stands for Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. And so basically what we try to do is improve EDI, which stands for Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, within ACM. So that's including like all of ACM's committees and just our general presence on campus. And so to make sorry, to make ACM more welcoming and inclusive, we've been doing a couple of different things. One thing that we're continuing to do and that you can look forward to this fall is allyship spaces. So those are kind of like discussion spaces where like you can share and learn about a particular EDI topic. Okay, so you can see on the slides, but one of the examples that we had was we did one on queer and trans representation in tech, which was really cool, and then we did another one recently on Asian representation and the otherization of K-pop. So you can see like they're not exactly like always tech related. They can be basically like anything related to EDI, which I think is really fun. We'll go on to the next slide. And then, okay, so another thing that you can look forward to in the fall is we're starting like a blog series kind of thing where we talk about we basically just talk about our personal experiences with non-academic things just to show like the more like human, vulnerable, personal side of ACM, because like we're not always just like this like CS kind of thing. But basically we're starting that, and we've been working on one related to like our experiences with mental health. So you'll probably see that soon, and then we'll have like more up later. And then, yeah, and then I already mentioned the allyship spaces, so those are continuing. You can go to the next slide. Okay, and then we have a website on the main ACM website, so you can go check that out. They have like, we put everything about us on there. Like you can see who all the Jedis are, you can see like our bios, you can see which events we've done in the past and what we're gonna do in the future. And yeah, and I put my email there, and then also my photo, because the one they put before, it doesn't look like me anymore because I'm older and like I have short hair now, so I don't want you guys like to think I'm catfishing, but that's me. And you can email me. You can email me about anything. But yeah, check out our website. And then I'm gonna give it back to Matt because I'm done here.
It's a presentation. There's a lot of catfishing going on. I want to close out with a few other things. We're going to answer some questions that you might have about our club in a moment. I know it's getting a little chilly, but first I just want to talk about free stuff. So who likes free stuff? Yeah. Not bad, right? So we have a way to incentivize that through the ACM membership portal. You have some people standing with their free stuff we've given them in the past, like Google Homes, Amazon Echoes, solar recharging backpacks, and lots of other cool free tech stuff from our tech overlords. Next slide. If you want to get this free stuff, you have to go to our website at members.uclaacm.com. You can do this on your slides, totally fine. And you have to first make an account. Then, next slide, do some more account creation stuff. You can do this right now, you can do it later. It's not homework, we're not gonna check. Next slide. And then you'll be presented with an exciting interface as well as a place to enter a code. And so at almost all ACM events, you can enter codes to get points. Once you get points, you win free stuff. And so the code for this week is on the next slide. It's welcome Matt, because it's me. Wow, they're laughing like I'm their boss. But enter that code, get some points, keep on getting more points. The competition's pretty ruthless, not gonna lie. We can win hundreds of dollars of free stuff. In addition, if you wanna work on this service and you're like, man, the website's kinda slow, join our dev team and help us figure that out. I think the next slide is going back to the ops director. So they're gonna answer some frequently asked questions, and then we'll close out, and you'll get to do some tabling. So I'll hand it back to Rish or Christina, who will come answer some questions for you. Thanks.
Hi guys, so I'm Rish, he, him. I'm one of the operations director. So some frequently asked questions that you might see. The first thing that we hear often, do you need any prior experience to join? Absolutely not. We are open to all levels, all backgrounds. We'd love to have you. So that's one of the first questions. Next slide, please. How can I get involved? So you can pretty much attend any ACM event, and to keep up to date, we recommend checking our ACM events calendar, which will be on the next slide, and joining our Discord, following us on Instagram, and then also subscribing to our weekly newsletter. This is our ACM events calendar. It's live on our website /events. Next slide. Next frequently asked question, can I join multiple committees? Yes, we do recommend you can join as many committees as you want. Just make sure, one thing that I do want to note, certain events might overlap, so in that sense, that might be the only limiting factor, but besides that, you're free to join as many committees as you want. What's the time commitment? So this is personally one thing for me. I like to get involved with a lot of things, and personally, you can get as involved as much as you want. If you want to spend every single hour waking up, thinking about ACM, you are welcome to. We would love to have you if you are like that. But if you also just want to spend maybe an hour a week, 2 hours a week, you can get that involved as much. So it's whatever you guys really want, and I think that's the last one. Is it the last one? Next slide. Okay, you want to do this one?
Yeah. Hi, so I mentioned a raffle earlier, so now we have some instructions for how to enter in that. Thank you for bearing with us throughout the whole time. And now you'll get the opportunity to win some cool merch. So follow acm.ucla on Instagram, and on our most recent post, please tag 2 of your friends who are either here or would be interested in learning more about ACM. Yeah, and that's all for the raffle. Okay, so now is the moment you've been waiting for. We can finally get up out of our seats and start mingling. So there are 10 tables behind the chairs, and each one represents each 8 of our ACM committees and 2 of our board internal and board external. So I'm going to quickly shout out each committee, and they'll raise their hand so you guys can see where to go if you're interested. So studio. ICPC, Design, Cyber, Board, ACM W, what? ACM Hack,
Teach LA.
Yes, and those are all, so please start getting up out of your chairs, and you can go ahead and start mingling and getting to know officers.
Also, AI.